Welcome to the Elevate Media Podcast with your host, Chris Anderson. In this show, Chris and his guests will share their knowledge and experience on how to go from zero to successful entrepreneur. They have built their businesses from scratch and are now ready to give back to those who are just starting. Let's get ready to learn, grow, and elevate our businesses. And now, your host, Chris Anderson.
Talking about growing your audience today with engagement, one of the really crucial pieces of growing our audience, growing any audience, not just podcasts, business, non-for-profit, hobby, whatever you're trying to do and get in front of more people. Growing your audience through engagement is huge, not only because it gets you more eyes, but because when you're engaging with people, you build more trust, you build more relationship with those people. So it's a deeper connection. Whereas if they just kind of see it in passing, it's more superficial. So the engagement that we get when we grow an audience through that, or the depth we get when growing our audience through engagement is so much better. It's a better foundation to grow off of. And so I wanted to kind of talk about today different ways we can do engagement through our podcasts to grow that audience. So what does that look like? There's different ways to engage with your audience. And one way is by just asking, connecting through your show. So there are people that are listening. Engage through that show. Talk to that one listener specifically, and then make sure that you're having some sort of engagement at the end or wherever you feel like it fits as far as like a call to action. Maybe it's, hey, we would just love to hear your feedback. So go to our Facebook group and leave a comment. Maybe it's leaving a review. Maybe it's sharing. Maybe it's subscribing if they're just checking it out. So engaging that way, kind of an easy way to do it in each episode. So just asking, just communicating through the episodes itself. And then the next one's kind of get into a deeper, a little bit more of a process work, I guess you could say. But that is when you're on your social media and you're posting about your episodes, which I hope you are, and using the relative tools within the different social media platforms, which we won't get into because there's different things for TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all those. But when you're on that social media platform and you're posting your content and you're just leaving it there and calling it a day, that's not really going to facilitate growth. Sure, you may get some more views on it. You may get some more people looking at it. But unless you're engaging with the people who engage with your content, or you're finding people who are in the same kind of niche, same target area as you are, and going and interacting with them. If you're not doing that, you should be, because that's going to give you more visibility. People are going to see that. They're going to get notified when you're commenting on their things, and they're going to check you out, most likely, unless they're mega huge and they just don't have time. But with those people that are those mega big influencers, you think like the Tony Robbins, the Pat Flynn, Lewis Howes, those kind of people, what you should be doing is, one, adding value on their stuff, true value, but then go through the people who are commenting and the ones that are leaving viable information, viable comments on their posts. Comment on their comments. Leave something good on their stuff. If they made a statement and it's a good statement, be like, wow, that's profound. Like, I didn't think of that. That's such a good viewpoint. Or, that's a great thought, but what about this? So starting to have conversations with people on there. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. You could do it very quickly after you post your content, because then they're going to come back to your page and they're going to check out what you do, and they're going to see your new post. And then that's going to get more visibility, and that's going to help you with the algorithms and all that. So it doesn't have to take a lot of time, but it has to take a little bit more effort. We can't just go and like and thumbs up and all that. That's not true engagement. So going and leaving comments, leaving positive feedback, leaving good reviews on their things, on their posts, on their content, that's huge. That's such a big way to grow your audience. The other way is to facilitate some sort of community where you can add value, where you can support, where you can give back to those who are supporting you or who are following you or who want your information. facilitate an area, a place that they can learn and grow together, trying to just add value and help and give and connect one another in the groups. And so that's a good way. It's just facilitating some sort of community. And then there are other ways to facilitate engagement, like giveaways, things like that, challenging people to go do something for the possibility of a reward. Are good ways to get people engaged, because people like to win. They like to get things. They like to get noticed. So that's a way that you can increase your audience just through engagement. If you interview people, connecting with them and giving them content that then they would want to share to their audience, piggyback on their audience. So if you have somebody, make a cool social media post that they could share or email out. So it's going to get more views and they can tag you in it. Or be guests on other shows. Engage with their audience by bringing value through being a guest on another podcast. Because we all have a perspective. We all have experiences. We all have things that we bring to the table that we can share and benefit and help, because there's someone out there who's going through what you've already been through, or wants to learn what you've already learned, or who wants to hear what you have to say for whatever reason. And so these are all ways we can utilize engagement of all different kinds to start to grow our audience. I mean, it is what it is. You have to have a little bit more effort into it. You can't just post something and walk away and hope it's going to happen, because if you do that, it's going to take much longer than if you're going out, connecting with people, engaging with people, reaching out, and leaving good comments, and then connecting through messages, and just ask questions about what they're doing, why they're doing it. We've kind of lost some of that because it's hard through social media to understand people's direction and when they reach out, and because there are so many people that do it wrong and are just trying to hard sell in the messengers, instead of actually trying to facilitate relationships and getting to know people and what they're about, and if they can help, or if they can connect with someone who can help. So it's all about community. It's all about engagement. It's all about giving all of those work together to help you grow your audience. So think about that. If you didn't hear anything I said during this whole thing, the number one thing I would tell you to do, or guide you, or highly recommend you do as far as engagement, is get connected with other people in your niche, collaborate, and just engage with one another's stuff and the people who are engaging on that content. That will be huge for you, because when you do, people are going to be like, who is this person commenting on my comment? Or, hey, that person, if you leave a good comment and people see that, they're like, oh, that's a good comment. And they're going to go look and see who you are, what you're about. And then they're going to hopefully go down your funnel to your podcast that you have so they can check it out. So these are just some high-level tips on engagement, how we can do that to facilitate growth within our audiences.
Thank you for listening to the Elevate Media Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. See you in the next episode.